Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Um, to my surprise, I'm the only one attending this session. Okay, but that's not a problem. I just want you guys, once you get access to this recording, I just want you guys to actually receive this information. Okay, we've been doing examination revision from topic one all the way to the last topic. All right. At the moment, if you can see what I've displayed here is the scope of focus that you received in for your examination. And I wanted us to have a look at it and touch on concepts that probably you are seeing for the first time. And I wanted to engage with you, but I'll just record after having received this recording. Please do not hesitate to reach out and ask on some items that you may not understand, okay? Because I'm the only one in this session, all right? Now, good people, uh, I'm just gonna, okay, because you're not in this class, this is what's gonna happen. You're going to have to go to um, your announcement. Look for the announcement that I posted on your scope of focus, all right? For your main examination for the 2024 mid-year exams at the University of Limpopo, okay? I posted this scope of focus. You're gonna have to download it first and have a look at aspects as I talk, because you are not there to actually zoom and view what is it that I will be talking about, all right? Now, the scope of focus, it has come to my attention that some of you ask, what is a research paper, what is academic research, and what is, essay, and what is design, you understand? So now, I want you to be aware of the fact that each and everything we do in academic literacy actually aims to boost your research skills, right? Now, if you can remember from the sessions that we've had, I did say to you that academic literacy means that you have to be ready for academia. In what sense? By following academic writing conventions, isn't it? There are rules on how things are done, and there are rules on how actually tasks are executed in academia. So one of the tasks to talk about today is research, okay? Now let's just unpack it a little bit. What is research? Most people view research as just a name, you understand? And they will attach its meaning from the execution of the task itself, research, you understand? They will understand what research is after having actually done or read a few research papers, you understand? But as my students, I want you to understand what research is, okay? Let me put it in this way. There is information available every day, okay? There's a new development found out every day. Again, there is information about something. You understand? It could be something that was invented a long time ago or a current phenomenon. You understand? So when it comes to research, what does that mean? It means although information about this specific thing is available, it was established, at this point of time, and now there's a need to actually find out what it is, find out if it's relevant, and find out if there could be improvements from its existence. That's where research comes in. So it means somebody has searched for information about a specific phenomena, and then somebody else came out to say, I want to find out what this is, and also possibly highlights its strengths and weaknesses, isn't it? Hence, research is needed so that, when it comes to having to agree to say this is relevant or irrelevant. We have evidence that it is relevant or irrelevant, isn't it? Somebody's going to search again, research, find out facts that either are for or are against the phenomenon itself, isn't it? The topic itself, right? And then once the evidence is out there, we are able to check the evidence and actually compare it with the existing evidence. Again, you found something new. We're going to compare the findings that you actually came about, isn't it? With what already has been out there. So chances are that we're going to find something along the lines of what has been found out before, or we can completely find something different to actually find out about, isn't it? But that will not mean you won't find information on it, because others might have already discovered that no, this thing cannot go in this way, it needs this kind of a direction. You understand? So that is what research is, as per the scenario description. Okay. In simple terms, what needs to happen is that there is information available. The same way when I say go and look for sources, you find those sources ready, right? And they respond to a specific topic, isn't it? Now, the fact that you can find different sources on one topic, it means people cared much to actually find out what can really be new on this. You understand? Can this be really validated? Let's search again and find out what's going on. Hence the concept research. Okay. Now, a research academic paper or an academic research paper has got what we refer to as conventions. The same way we have, strategies, or let me just rather say processes on how to develop an essay. Also, a research paper is like that, okay? Now, a research paper begins at a proposal level. What is a proposal? A proposal is a document, you understand? A document that actually illustrates or demonstrates the intentions of the study itself. You understand? How this study is going to be conducted, how this study is going to contribute towards the existing knowledge, how this study aims to perform, if there's, for example, if there's animals or human beings to be involved, how is this study planning on engaging with those participants? You understand? So now, what is a proposal? The same way, think of it when someone gets engaged, the person that actually proposes uses future tense, isn't it? Will you marry me? You understand? For example, so even in a proposal of your academic research study, what happens is that you actually have to use future tense when compiling. You understand? When compiling your proposal, because at the proposal level, we're looking at the fact that you are telling us what you intend to do. So that once the proposal passes all the necessary stages, or once it meets the requirements based on the institutional policies and all that, and then it will be then that you can change your tense into present tense, right? For for your introduction and your literature review. However, your findings, you have to present them in past tense, because you're going to be talking about something that you have done, isn't it? You're going to talk about something that you have done. I'll explain what's going on, right? Now, the proposal itself, like I said, is what you intend on doing. And it means the study is yet to be done. So the study is in future, hence the future tense, okay? Now, upon completing your proposal, it will be submitted to the committees that actually assess it, to see if, let me just say review it. I can't say assess it, review it, to see if it meets the requirements as per institutional policies. You understand? Each and every institution has got its own policies to guide, research, but it doesn't mean research is different among the institutions. It's just, one of those things to say, we prefer it in this way, we prefer it in this way, and all that. You understand? You understand once you actually do it. All right? So once you're done with your proposal, you move straight to the study itself. Now, the study also has got like processes, isn't it? There are processes that your study needs to follow for it to be valid and for it to be considered, to be considered credible, okay? If, for example, your study is to involve human beings, you're going to have to plan around that, you understand? There's going to be the need for you to be in possession of an ethical clearance because you'll be working with human beings, you understand? And humans are ethical beings, you understand? So, you need to be safe around that, so that you don't violate people's rights. You have to present it to them and say, this is what I have to do, and this is, my ethical clearance to show that this study is approved. And, if you participate in this study, you are not going to be violated in some way, and you're not forced to participate, you understand? And also with animals, I mean, animals have got rights these days, whoever is responsible for that place where the animals will be kept, if it's an institution, if, it's a farm, depending on what kind of research you want to look at, you have to provide that, evidence to say, I am really ethical about this, and I'm not here to, violate any of the rights that animals have. I mean, I just want to conduct my study, and I'll be looking at this and this and this, and they will tell you to go ahead or not, depending on also because they will be a separate institution, depending on what they will require from you, you understand, for your study to actually go on, right? And then after that, you will gather evidence, right? You will be in a place where you observe, if you have to observe, to get your data. And you'll be in a position where you also have, for example, circulate questionnaires if you need questions written down and all that, okay? You will understand once you get to do this, or once you study. I mean, my advice would be that you download something, along research approach lines, okay? You just study how it was written and also expand more by finding more sources about these concepts, isn't it? Now, once your research is done, you will see that usually it comes as a full completed document, one study itself, isn't it? So depending on what you were researching about, the length of your study, maybe, either longer or shorter. We have got short studies, we've got longer studies, isn't it? Once you write your dissertation, it's a longer study compared to a mini dissertation, because we've got dissertations and mini dissertations, So the page numbers also are dependent on the institutional policies. I can't tell you how many pages, but if, for example, you register at the University of Limpopo under this Faculty of Science and Agriculture, also the Department of Physiology and Environmental Health, they will tell you their prescription, isn't it? This is how the length of your study, how it predicted actually to be like, you understand, in terms of it being longer or shorter. You'll be given prescribed number of pages, okay? Now, an abstract, okay, a research paper is accompanied by an abstract, okay? Now, what is an abstract? An abstract is a summary of the whole study before we actually delve deeper into what the research says. An abstract must be provided, and it summarizes what this study actually has covered, you understand? So that even if, you don't want to proceed with the study itself, at least you know what it is about, okay? At least you know what the study is about, all right? Now, the abstract is going to summarize your main points, like the whole study, holistically, what it's about, what it did, and what basically the possible findings that we may come, across in the study itself. Okay, that is an abstract. Okay, now let's actually look at this aspect of research. Okay, aspects of research. Now, at the proposal level, these subsections are there, which eventually are converted into chapter 1 of your study. You know, a proposal is also a very distinct type of research writing at the beginning level. You understand? What does that mean? It means that once you receive a go ahead into writing your proposal, it will come as a template, and that template may not be directly identical to your study in terms of the expansion of your facts, isn't it? In a research proposal, you're going to be as brief as possible. When it comes to the study itself, upon completion, everything has to be in detail. You have to have detailed each and everything. You're expanding on what your proposal has left on. You understand? Now, research questions. I want us to look at this, man. Some of these things that I actually need you to look at. These templates have got many subsections, but for the purpose of this lesson, I want you to understand what a research question is, or I want you to understand only these 5 aspects. Okay, only these 5 aspects for the purpose of this study. All right, now research question and objective. These questions aim to clarify what your study seeks to discover. You understand? Research questions aim to actually respond to what your study wishes to discover. Okay, so for example, if your topic is HIV and AIDS, I usually give examples using these topics because it's common. Everyone knows what HIV is, right? If, for example, you're going to search or to conduct a study on HIV and AIDS, and you want to formulate the research questions, you first need to look at your topic itself. You understand? Your topic must guide you into developing research questions. You understand? So if your topic guides you into developing research questions, then you might, if you want to find out whether or not HIV can take lives or can take a life after, for example, 5 years, then you will specify in your research question, can HIV and AIDS lead to a fatal incident, right? A fatal incident over a period of 5 years. You understand? So it's a question, and that question itself constitutes what your study seeks to find out. And then also it means you're going to have data along the number of years that you have specified. I'm just giving, examples, not necessarily that you will have to conduct a study for 5 years, you understand? But some studies are conducted for that number of years and beyond, you understand? So now, once it's a study like this, it means you're going to have to depend on, previous data, you understand? Somebody has studied HIV before, over a longitudinal study, you understand? You're just going to employ what that research was trying to find out, to actually elongate it, to continue, you understand? To continue with your discovery once you have previous data, you understand? So this is what we refer to as a longitudinal study. If, for example, your study requires that you study something for some time, understand, over a number of years or months or anything, you understand? So it's a longitudinal study. So now that's what basically research question aims to respond to what your study seeks to find out. Understand? Can a car kill someone over the speed limit 120? You understand? If you are researching about speed of cars, something along those lines, you understand? And then you will be assisting us into understanding what the study actually tries to discover, isn't it? And then objectives here, this we're talking about your achievement, what your study aims to achieve. You understand? What is your objective? To do something. Always make sure that you begin your objectives with the preposition to. You understand? Because once you say objectives, then it has to be something that is to be achieved, isn't it? Objectives to discover if HIV and AIDS can kill a human being over this specified number of years. You understand? Another example, objectives to discover if, or to find out, or to investigate. You understand? Those are proper ways. You know, I told you that each and every field of study has got its own terminologies. You understand? So in research, you will find terminologies terminologies such as investigate, you know, compare and contrast, you know, a comparison study, case studies, you know, so you will find such things. So objective to investigate whether a car can actually kill a human being over the speed limit 120. Understand? Those are your objectives, isn't it? Now, if you understand it, and then it will be your right now. If you don't, please consult more sources. Just search, you know, on Google Scholar. Just type Google Scholar, and then you will be directed to a homepage here, Google Scholar, and then just search research writing. Search research writing, and you'll find all these things in. And then where you don't understand or where you are stuck, please come and consult with me, or just send me an email. You know, this is a preparation of your examination, and this are definitely part of your examination. Okay. Now, hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? Hypothesis, we're talking about tentative prediction. What does tentative mean? It means you are not sure of the result itself. You understand? This is what you think could happen. Okay, so also what you think could happen will be dependent on the study itself. You understand? Is the study based on other studies? You're trying to find out if the results to be discovered will be different or what. You understand? And also your hypothesis will lead us into understanding actually what the gap that you're trying to fill is. You understand? Because research studies are aiming at filling gaps. You understand? So if, for example, you're searching whether or not Coke can cause diabetes, so it means there are a number of studies that are already there that suggest that Coke can cause diabetes, for example. Okay, now your hypothesis could be something like, okay, after a human being has consumed this capacity of sugar, chances are that this may happen, which could lead to diabetes. You understand? And then it's a hypothesis. And then once you conduct your study, if your study is on Coke, whether or not it could cause diabetes, we will find out from your findings to say, okay, these people have consumed this much, and the hypothesis could be that, I mean, the hypothesis was that if this person is to take 2 cans, chances are that their glucose is going to be high, and therefore they stand at the risk for this. You understand? And then you continue and actually give them 2 cans, you know, find out, you know, and then once you found out, you will tell us and in your findings to say, the findings actually meeting the hypothesis. You understand? And then that's when we'll take it from there. You understand? But at this point, what is a hypothesis? A hypothesis is a tentative prediction of what the outcome could be. Okay. Now, study design. Study design, for the purpose of this lesson, I want you to understand them in this way. Okay. There is, I'm just gonna try to type. There is what we refer to as a qualitative design for a research study, and there is also what we refer to as a quantitative design for a research study. Okay, now the difference between the two is that once we're talking quantitative, we're talking about quantity. This research prioritizes the expression of meaning through words the numbers. Explanations are given into qualitative. Let me just start all over so that you understand. Study design, we have quantitative. I'm just going to type okay, against what? Against qualitative, okay? Qualitative. Now, what I want you to understand in this sense is that once we're speaking quantitative, we're talking about the quantity, right? The quantity. And what is quantity? Quantity is represented in numbers. You understand? It means in your study, you're going to have to give us your tables with values, isn't it? And your feedback, I don't know, in a form of a pie chart, you know, to say a number of these people said this, or a number of people reacted this way to Coke, and a number of people reacted this way to Coke. Therefore, if the majority reacted this way, and then therefore the research can conclude, or this and this can happen in this way. You understand? So quantity, we're looking at numbers. You understand? You're going to represent your information in tables and charts and line charts or any other form of a chart. You give us, you know, numerical values there to actually represent what you found out. You understand? Your statistics, you know, comes into place. But once we speak qualitative, we're talking about you having to provide reasons, reasons, and you fill us with words. You understand? You fill us with words. You explain here. You are theoretical. You understand? No words. Nothing on numbers. It's just you explaining what you have observed. You understand? Now, these methods, good people, as different as they are, they can be combined to form one study. You understand? There's some studies that would require what we refer to as a mixed method. You understand? So in a mixed method, what happens? You are going to use both the designs, and at some point you're going to have to show us what you found out through values, numbers, and you analyze them. You understand? And then after that, you're going to have to explain what has happened. Sorry, when it relates to when it comes to your research study holistically. You understand? Now, variables and measurement, number 4. Variables and measurement. Sorry. Variables and measurements, we're talking, for example, I did say to you that if you are to use human beings as part of your study, I mean, your variables, we're talking about your population, isn't it? How many people are to be, to form part of the study, your participants. If you want to find out about, for example, diabetes, it means you need people, isn't it? So depending on the level of your study, for example, at honors, masters, and PhD, it's different for you the variables, the kind of population that you're going to use is going to be different, isn't it? At honors, it might be lower, masters a little bit higher, PhD way too high. You understand? So that you actually get the validation of your study, isn't it? So variables, we're talking about, population, how many people are you looking at, and what is the form of sampling? Sampling, if, for example, we're talking 50 people, how many are going to sample to represent the whole, isn't it? What is sampling? Sampling, it means you take a few to represent the whole. If it's 50 and you can't do all of them, I mean, you can maybe look at, sampling. Usually they go in percentages, 10% of a whole or something, depending on institutional policies, like I said. And then they will guide you, in your reviews and all that, so that you are able to tell what is it that you actually need to do. You understand? Variables and measurement. Variables, we're talking population. Measurement, we're talking sampling, isn't it? How many are you going to actually use for your study? And what are you looking at? What type of people are they? You understand? Do you care about educational, their demographics and all that? And then from that, you will be able to establish, your variables and measurements, and then your data analysis plan, we're talking when you actually have to plan, at the proposal level, you plan, this is how I'm going to collect data. What does that mean? It means you're going to have to collect information for you to come at findings, isn't it? If, for example, you need to find out through interviews, you question, I mean, your questions are closed questions. You remember there are closed and open questions. Closed questions, we're talking about the yes or no type of questions, the true or false type of questions. Open, they allow you to express, you understand? You write in paragraphs, to explain. So now, once you issue that to say, I need to question these people, then you'll have to develop what to refer to as a questionnaire, isn't it? You will circulate it among the people that you have, sampled or chose to represent your variables and measurements. And then you distribute those things, those questionnaires, and then so that you get, you get feedback accordingly. Remember, this is systematic, so it's a systematic study. Everything has got its own, its own flow. Okay, once you do this, you have to do it in this way. Once you do that, you have to do it in that way. You understand? So that's it about data analysis plan, right? So sometimes you don't need to distribute under data analysis and plan. You just have to observe, you understand? And then you write your notes and then you come back and report. Or from observation, for example, people who do research in plants, I mean, you can't question a plant, you understand? But you need an ethical clearance to also continue with your study in a form of a permission, you understand? It may be called a permission of study to continue, you understand? So you observe, for example, in different conditions, these greenhouses, those people conducted research before they actually established that greenhouse can actually help, you understand? They did it before and observed to say, okay, fine, if it's winter and then we discovered, we design this and have a summer of this plant in this winter season, then we can still grow mangoes if mangoes do not grow in winter, for example. And then that's what they came up with, the development of a greenhouse, you understand? So that's what it is. And then on that one, they work on observations, isn't it? Interviews is when you have to go in and out and question people on what is it that you actually are looking for. Your questionnaire will guide how these people respond to you. You understand? Now, good people, research is important. Why is it important? Because each and every development that you actually see today was researched before. Some of these things you are used as a sample. Once you respond to questionnaires, for example, on YouTube, did you like this video? Give us feedback so that we can improve and do this. And do you like this? Do you not like that? You understand? That's why research is important. You understand? So for the purpose of this lesson, I just wanted you to study these 5. Please go on to Google Scholar. Please, not just Google Scholar. Search Google Scholar. And then once you are redirected to that homepage, just search research writing skills. You understand? I've uploaded a few. And then if you don't find all this, please try to use your Google Scholar, try to use your YouTube to actually respond to the questions that you will be looking for. You understand? And then any other way, you're still welcome to come and consult with me. You understand? You're still welcome to come and consult with me, and then we can see to it, how do I make sure that you understand this better? You understand? Now, subheadings, the use of subheadings, you understand? These are the subheadings, like I said, these subsections will also form subheadings. So once we actually open your study, we will understand that once it says research questions and objectives, we don't anticipate anything. Understand? Once we say hypothesis, we don't anticipate anything that does not relate to hypothesis, isn't it? So subheadings actually guide us to be organized, to have our work neatly arranged and organized, so that each and everything has got its own way of being responded to as you write your research style. You understand? Now, task words, what are task words? Once you receive a question, or even from your topic itself, you have to have an instruction word. Once you say, for example, discussing this, discuss already is a task word, is an instruction word. We get to understand what is it that you want us to focus on, the discussion of this. You understand? Compare and contrast, that's what we're talking about, isn't it? So that's what we are actually talking about. All right, now that's it around research and all that. Also, subheadings are part of research. Task words, instructions are part of research. You understand? When it comes to the technical point of it, you know, when you have to actually execute the plan, you have to use these things. If you don't understand from what I said, you can also use Google, sorry, to understand what subheadings are and what their uses are. Task words too, the same thing, and what their uses are. You understand? So critical slash cognitive thinking, or cognitive thinking slash critical thinking, or metacognition. Here we're talking about thinking outside the box. Understand? This process usually happens before and during your research study. What happens is that you're going to have to think outside of the box. You understand? Um, do not be someone who's rigid. You understand? Allow questions. You know, when people criticize you, it's not that they are really fighting you, but they want to understand how your study is planned. You understand? You know, they want to understand the whole issue around your study. You understand? So once you are a critical thinker, it means you are finding solutions. We're talking about people who can find solutions. And the minute you engage in research, you are trying to find a solution for something. So hence, you need to be this kind of a person. How does this work? It works when you actually receive information, and before you can actually open your mouth to say you know or do not know it, you conduct research. You understand, what is this? Huh? How can I best understand it? And what are others saying? Because I can see Malachi saying this. What are others saying? You understand? And can I use it to solve, you know, my daily situations? You know, can I use it to actually, you know, assist myself? You know, improve my life with this kind of information. You know, and if not, what do I do? You understand? Those are critical thinkers. Critical thinkers aim to do what? To find a solution to issues. You understand? So, good people, if you were with me in the class, I would be allowing you to question where you don't understand. But briefly, that's what I wanted to discuss with you. Treat this information with earnest. What does that mean? Take it seriously, because it's part of your examination. Where you don't understand, send an email, or set an appointment, come and see me. You know, if you can't find me, ask Mr. Makina for Mr. Makina in the lab at Q Block. You know, I'm based at Q Block, office 10438. So if you can't find me there, look for Mr. Makina. Mr. Makina will tell you where I am. And if, for example, it's pressing and I can't show up at that moment, ask Mr. Makina to show you how these things are. And also, do not end it there. Go and study and actually validate that, and also consult with me. You know, send me an email. I spoke to Mr. Makina and this is what he said. This was, is that all right? You understand? So that you also have a feel to say, I'm involved in the dissemination of, you know, information. And once I say it that way, also we are adding on to the knowledge. We're not trying to show contempt or do anything. We're just trying to add. It's better when you find, you know, knowledge from different spheres, and then you are able to actually digest that information and take it with confidence, you know, in the belief that, you know, this is actually what it is. Because I mean, if more than 2 people told me about it, then what else am I looking for? You understand? That's what it is. Good people, please study and study and study. All the best, I mean, all the best, not worst, sorry. All the best with your examinations. As I usually say, best wishes. Okay, thank you.